going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this one we're going to be talking about SPRT as well as a couple other stocks that have been gaining a lot of attention lately and could potentially make some pretty big moves here in the near future. So before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please drop a like and hit subscribe. Also check out the Patreon and the free Discord server, links in the description, and let's get into it. So today I didn't make too many moves. I was busy with work, but I did trade Tesla. Made some money on Tesla and AMC, and I bought a little bit of BBIG. But other than that, it was a pretty relaxed day and didn't do too much in the market. But Sprt down around 14% today. So I definitely welcome these sell-offs. Like I said, I want this to come down below $30, potentially fill that gap below, which we're going to talk about in a second here. This one has pretty much just been bouncing from 30 all the way to 40 and selling back off. Today's range, I believe, was just 30 to 36. But yeah, people are still bullish on this one. It needed a little bit of a cool-off day after just having an insane few weeks here. So Sprt is still in a decent play, and we're definitely going to keep this one on watch. So this article came out today talking about how the merger decision coming up on September 10th will make or break the stock. Now, I don't plan on holding this past September 10th. Or even up to the vote. I do expect this to run up to the vote and get some more hype around it and then potentially sell off. So this just talks about how the stock has gone up an insane amount. So from $2 to $30 and then peaked at $59.69 on August 27th before selling off and trading around $30 a share. So it's actually been holding up very well above $30 for the most part. And we see it kind of pump up to 40 and then sell off, and that has been the trend thus far. Still has a high short interest of 33.4% with more than 24 million shares outstanding and a float of more than 17 million shares. All right, so now looking at the chart, we had this charted out and we knew that this gap was there. So the gap from $19 all the way to around $30, we knew that was there. It pumped up like crazy. Went to 59 and then sold off a bit, and it actually entered the gap on the 27th, and that's where I thought it was going to continue to dip. We gapped up and again started to enter the gap, but basically as long as it holds 30, it's looking strong. I actually do want this to come and fill this gap all the way down at 20. If I get that chance, I'm definitely going to take advantage of that. So we'll see how that goes. Basically, I have some notes over here. It's holding 30 fairly well. If entered the gap, it's done that briefly a couple times, but it hasn't fully filled it. It keeps bouncing. So I'm not sure if that gap fill will happen, before the real pump or after. Ideally before, so we can get that nice entry with more upside and less risk associated with playing this. I would start scaling in, as soon as it starts entering that gap, maybe around, the higher 20s. And then if it breaks the support of 26, then you can expect it to go all the way down to 20 and completely fill the gap. And that's where you would want to likely build out, the position that you want to swing or trade. But those are the support and resistance levels. It is, kind of just hanging in this level right now. So we'll see if we can break out above 33 tomorrow and, hopefully continue. It would be 43 and over 43. Then I do think we could see some big numbers coming. But still bullish on this one. It still looks good, and a lot of people are still paying attention to it. Second up is BBIG. We saw this one dip hard in the morning, all the way down to 559, and I did mention this in yesterday's video. I wanted to get into the chart real quick. So on the 15, you can see the gap here, and BBIG could come down and fill this, but as long as it holds $5, I'm still bullish on this one. I did expect this to fill the gap below, and it did hold $5, so I did remain bullish. Was busy at work today. I didn't quite catch it at 559. Unfortunately, that was a great dip buy opportunity. I caught it at around 639-ish, and that's when I alerted the Patreons that I was buying it, and it was, it was a high-risk buy, but it held my levels, filled the gap below, and then ended up pumping the rest of the day and looking very strong heading into close. This is getting a ton of attention. All eyes are on this one. Volume is great. And this could be, the SPRT of last week. So we'll just have to see on that one, but it is getting some great coverage, and even CNBC has covered it.
Ticker BBIG. It is soaring. It's the latest chapter of the Reddit trading crowd facing off against institutional short sellers, perhaps. Today's wild action, the name spilled over into the options market as well.
The options, which were actually already quite active ahead of today, traded 11 times their average daily volume, almost 790,000 contracts traded overall. That would place it third in terms of the most active single stocks traded all day, and the most active options traded were the 7.5 and 11 strike calls that expire in September. Those 11 strike calls, over 82,000 of those traded for just under $1.90, meaning that traders were risking more than the stock actually cost in January to bet that the stock could rise another 80% by 2 weeks from Friday. So some pretty crazy volume that we're seeing in there.
All right, now looking at BBIG on the 45-minute chart, it appears to be forming a cup and handle, which is one of my favorite patterns to trade. I could see this, cooling off a little bit in the morning and then bursting out of this cup and handle and trying to reach that $10 level that everyone is watching, a break over that. And this could really start running off hype and FOMO, and people would really start, getting that attention and having that fear of missing out and piling into this stock and pushing it higher. That's where I could see 15 to 20 coming, upon the hype and FOMO, and that's where a squeeze could happen. So first level support, 633. We saw that break today. It filled that gap, but it held, above $5. So second level is 450. Basically, if it's going to break 5, then I'm not sure this play is going to pan out, but as long as we hold those levels, I'm bullish. First resistance, 916. Second resistance, 1016. And over that, this is looking really good. So it is crossing up, which is bullish, but it is a little bit overbought. And last time you can see we were overbought, we sold off a little bit. So that's where I'm saying maybe we cool off in the morning a little bit and make that cup and handle and then break out big time. But we'll see. Last up is AMC, and we talked about this one in yesterday's video. So it had a pretty solid day, up 9%, including after hours. I wanted to talk about this article right here, talking about GME and AMC as a hedge and how a lot of people are expecting a market pullback to come or even a correction in September or October with all the tapering talks and Fed meetings coming up. Basically, talks about how it's reasonable to expect that a market correction scenario caused by macroeconomic factors, investors would seek alternate forms of investments, and in the case of AMC and GME, price action has been largely determined by supply and demand dynamics, not so much business fundamentals, obviously. They also talk about the beta of the stocks and how they're negative and how it's rare, to find this in stocks, but this is shared across the entertainment sector. And this is probably due to meme status, which I do agree with. So it's going to be interesting to see if these really pump during a correction or if they sell off as well. But last few months when they were pumping, that was during the more bearish months for, like SPAC stocks and those growth stocks when we really had those huge sell-offs. But now looking at the AMC chart, looks pretty good. Cup and handle on the daily broke out, and now I'm, looking to see if AMC can break through 48 and then, into the 50s. That'd be sweet. First support is 45, second support 43, and then resistant at 48 and 49. Those are some price targets that I think it could go to, and then over that is where you really see the FOMO happen again, and it really takes off. But I think it's looking strong, crossing up. Actually, we're over that MACD, so that's looking good. Could be approaching a little bit overbought on the daily, so we could see some choppiness, but things are looking great for AMC, and I am holding calls. That's pretty much it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Check out the Discord and the Patreon, and have a good one.